I'll record that. All right, then I'll do my screen share. So, hey guys, so what we've got going here is we just got back from Nashville, Tennessee. Anybody been to Nashville?
I have.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yep.
Yeah,
Here you had a good time at the football game.
yeah, I got beer spilt all over me. It was the first time I've ever touched beer. It was quite interesting. Yeah, but it was yeah, that was pretty rowdy. But we figured, hey, it's a Monday night football game. It's like, why not? We don't have anything else to do, so it was quite fun. But guys, Jared James is amazing. It was 2 days of just completely I've got several things of notes. They just launched, actually this morning, they just launched all these slides literally this morning. So I was like kind of sweating a little bit because I had some things I wanted to share and go over. And so we're going to look at two different slides here this morning so we can kind of look at this. But I wanted to share, guys, what Jared's thoughts and stuff are, is that, there's a lot of disruptors that are coming into the play. And what that means is like these I buyers. And we have such an amazing opportunity that you guys, anybody use in a listing presentation yet in regards to our company's presentation of that we would purchase your house and then they can move on to their own home? Anybody even brought that up or even dared bringing that up in a listing presentation yet? An instant offer program? No. All right. So, I would highly recommend going into your Snap and going and looking for that instant offer. Now, and Kelly, you may not have one in your company, but I know there's other different groups of contractor people who just partner with somebody that you guys could work with that might go in and buy a home. Like if it's a certain price range, I might be interested in it, but basically you're advertising, and there was like 80-something% of people wanted the iBuyer, which is the iBuyer, which basically is a company like, people that are bringing in additional money. I think I've got a slide here that I can show with what they are. So it's the iBuyer. These are people, this is like billions of dollars that they've raised in the last several years, billions of dollars of people. Now they haven't, some people, they starting to spend it. I haven't really seen it, but basically they're coming in saying, guys, we'll purchase your house at like some crazy, ridiculous number lower than what the value is. I've had two of my sellers recently that have actually went to an iBuyer and they met with them. They had them come to their home, but it was like this crazy $50,000 less than what they were going to give them. So just as a reminder with our program, there's a two-step process. Yes, there's Dan, our owner, is not trying to make money. They're just trying to facilitate more deals. So on those iBuyers that have some type of program where you could say, we would be interested in purchasing your house at a little bit discounted price, but Dan's two-step process is that we do a slight reduction of what that is, the value, because we don't want to lose money. So that buyer can then move on, or that seller can move on and leave. But at the same time, that when we go back to sell it, and that's when you would take the listing and actually sell it through our company, then we would give 90% back to that seller who actually sold their home. So it's actually really a win-win situation. So I'm going to be starting to promote that a little bit better and more. But what happens there is the people that at least you can offer that, but not very many people are actually doing and taking that up on that because they don't want to leave that much money on the table. But at the same time, you should at least offer that to have that so you can get into more listing presentations and things of that nature. So, he was talking a little bit about, let me go back to this one, our competition. It's going to either eliminate us or make us better. And so we went in and talked about founding that people find their agent, from 2015, you can see it's got the past client sphere of influence. And I'm going to show you guys one big number. So there is this, for people who are new, guys, there not very many agents communicate and have conversations with their past clients, and they just let them go, and they just feel like they're kind of done with the deal. And maybe occasionally, hopefully they'll come back and use you later down the road. But there's just so many orphan clients out there that aren't. So anybody who's new, you got this huge amount. I mean, you look at this, there's still 30% here and 29% in 2021 of people who still aren't using their agent. So you can go find them. But this number right here I want to show you is that, anybody know what that number is? It's $117,000, which they were recently, studies showed that one client is worth $117,000 worth of commissions. So if you guys knew that your one client that you actually sold a house to, would you treat them any different if you knew that the total commissions of that lifetime of that client could be about $117,000? Would you treat them different? Yeah, yeses. I never really thought that number was that high, but that's kind of a crazy. Now it depends on your, where you're at. And I know Kelly, being maybe in Southern California, your prices might be even way crazier and higher. But to think about that is that why are we not, going and discussing things and sharing things with our clients afterwards? Basically, what it is that we need to switch our mentality that the transaction does not start when well, it kind of does, but switch the mentality that transaction doesn't really start to the time we open up escrow. It really kind of starts at the time of close of escrow. And I actually really enjoyed some clients' words, 2 clients' words this week that they shared with me. And one of them said that they've never, she says, my husband, she types this, goes, my husband feels that you're the best customer service of any company that I've ever seen, or he's even ever heard of before. And I completely agree. I'm like, wow, it was really, really nice. Of course, it's because my wife does a few things. And so she's over there. This is Shannon. You guys say hi to Shannon. She actually came in early because Madison wasn't coming in today, or coming in this morning. So what it is it's just the customer service after the fact. So, and all it really was is that I sent a year anniversary video out to them and said, congratulations, I can't believe it's already been a year. And in that same email that she sent back to me, she said, oh, we are also celebrating our 40th wedding anniversary. So guess what? My sweet little wife sent them some like cookies from what do you call it? Crumble from Crumble. Everybody likes Crumble cookies, right? So she sent some cookies to them just saying, congratulations on your anniversary. So these are just things that I want to spend some time and money. So when they go back to list their home in 5 or 6 or 10 years, they're not going to think about anybody else but me. And I'm kind of sick and tired of seeing some of, over time when I see some people actually pick and choose another agent that I sold them a house and I thought we had a really good relationship and they gave me a beautiful review, 20 years ago, but why did they go with somebody else? And it's because, and I look at it straight at I look in the mirror and goes, when's the last time you talked to them, Eric? When's the last time you touched them and said anything to them? And then, so it really always comes down and points right back to me. So keep that in mind that $117,000 is a lot of money. Cause I would say that if you had like 100 clients that you could keep that 117, I think we'd be pretty well off. And let me share this a little bit, what Jared was talking about with the traditional funnel. This kind of makes sense. You got, awareness, people around you, they consider you, they have a decision, and they finally buy. And it is a crazy amount, of phone calls and people that you're going to have to make. And I think the old studies said that you have to do like 100 contacts to get around 10 warm leads to close 1 or 2 of those deals. Now that's a lot of, conversations that you're having. And I will share, and we're going to get to it. I have like about 30 different presentations from people. And one of them, there's a gentleman that actually just started real estate 2 years ago. In his first year, what did he close? Like 75 homes or something, that one guy, like some like 75 houses. And all he did is he just picks up the phone and calls and calls and calls. And he sets up this point system that he doesn't leave the office until he creates and counts so many points, because he's brand new. And so it was inspiring. But here's the old funnel, kind of what transpired. And here's Jared's new funnel. So I don't know if this is Jared with his little bow tie on here, but you can see that there's still awareness and there's education of us educating people. And then you've got this onboarding, this impact. So you're really working and getting people from so many different locations and finding them. And these are the things that he shared about. And guys, you're going to recognize some of these things that I've actually taught before. Is the client loyalty program. Anybody started creating their client? And anybody who, I guess I should probably ask, because there are people who didn't catch this class, because we haven't talked about this class for probably maybe it was 2 months ago. But anybody not know what a client loyalty program is? Anybody? Okay, we got a couple. So I can't see everybody down here. I don't know if I get to see the faces of Sharon Diaz. There's Allie. Oh, Allie. So you're staying put today. That's good. You're not on a field rain. On a field trip, enjoying outside. All right. So basically, I'm going to just share briefly. Hello, Sarah. You can take whatever chair you would like. But I just want to share briefly what that client loyalty program is that, there's, doing an annual gift certificate. I like that they switched on this on me, is that I loved how they, get rid of the CMA, like, get kind of change it to your past clients as a yearly portfolio review. Those people and those individuals who are, have stocks or who have, wouldn't it be nice for them? I mean, I don't know if you guys have a stockbroker or you're a tax accountant that calls you and says, hey, let's go ahead and have an annual review of your stock portfolio and let's discuss that a little bit. But it would be kind of nice to have that happen because I don't really have anybody really, calling me on that. So that would be kind of nice. But so you call it the portfolio review. This is something that I send out in January of every year. We send out letters to all our past sellers, potential sellers. And I do a letter that says, guys, here's just wanted to see if you wanted to book a time. I'll go in one-on-one with them. Now I've got some other systems that we've actually put in place that actually will put something to them automatically, but it's actually offering them that yearly portfolio review. Now, why they're using the word portfolios, because, you guys might have some buyers right now. There are some clients that have more than one house. So you're actually giving them the opportunity to say, Allie, you're my client. So I'm not going to say your house, your one home. It's like, Sarah, you might have 3 houses. So I want to like put this in their head of like, you're going to buy multiple houses with me. And so I want this, portfolio, because that's kind of what we would love to have. Did anybody want 2 or 3 or 4 houses, or is that just too many? Sarah wants more houses. She wants 3. Okay. Anybody want more than 3? Let me go back up here. I can't see all of your faces here. All right. So I thought that was kind of fun way to kind of change that terminology. Quarter there. I like this, guys, on the quarterly references. So do this. This was a really fun idea that they had like, here we come into winter. And I'm sitting there looking outside today of all this, my winter, and I'm going, wow, my gutters are just overflowing. And I walked out there and I go, wow, I didn't put those over there. And then Shannon tells me this morning, the boat's totally uncovered. and so I'm kind of freaking out going, there's trouble. So I like this because it works perfect, because if you have these new people that move into your area, it's like, they have no idea who to call for gutter cleaning. And I thought it was nice as guys, we're coming into winter. And so those who might have some snow country kind of people and up in the snow and way up in Nevada City, you say, guys, just want to let you know it's coming into winter. Here's some things that you might want to consider redoing. Here's a gutter cleaning person. Here's somebody, some kind of thing. Or summer, you can do just different stuff about time to change out batteries in your smoke detectors, or just some kind of fun thing where you're actually giving them some quarterly references of some 3 or 4 or 5 contractor people, handyman people for that, that time frame of the season, which I thought was really nice. And so just as a real quick refresher on this on mine is that when somebody gives me a review, or when somebody gives me a referral of some sort, my client loyalty program is the Starbucks card that adds $5 or $10 per one of those things that transpires. If they give me somebody, then I just continue adding money on there. But I do also do some certificates on some when the wedding anniversaries or closing. Just don't do one closing gift. You want to kind of continue going with this. Now, they did babysitting. So if you have somebody who's got babies and say, hey, look, I'm giving you 1 year, for babysitting, you guys can go out and actually go on a date night or some sort. So then you got to find somebody, some friend that has a teenage son or daughter, and then set that all up. But so there was just some things that you do. And I know in our company, guys, we have the client loyalty card that basically gives them free what do they give, guys? You copies, faxes if they want it, Wi-Fi, coffee
access to the conference
Notary.
room,
one big one, notary. That's a big one. Sarah's taking them all. If you guys want to help Sarah out, that's good. So, but she's not mic'd or muted. So they got free notary. So free. I love the free color copies. I've got several customers that have come in here and said, hey, can I make a color copy? But they need to know that. So that's the beginning, the creation of your client loyalty program is having something. So there's a letter that your admin sends out or gives you. I hope they're giving it to you on closes. Did they give you one? And they'll give you that little plastic little credit card, kind of a credit card, a little plastic card saying, please use this. And there's a map of the 50 something offices around the whole entire area. So those are important. That's your beginning, structure of that. So again, Sarah, I think you missed that. I don't know if you got here, but the average monies of a client's worth over a lifetime is $117,000. Okay. So yeah, so that's kind of what we've got there. So
We're
start
supposed
that-
to get a card, Eric?
yeah, there's a card.
They
Do you-
send
like
it
a-
directly to the client.
they sent it to, well, okay, all right, thank you. So you check with your admin. There is a client card. They actually supposed to, they send that. I liked it to come to me first because I add my client, I should probably show you guys my video that I do, that I send out a video instantly when we close. Thank you so much for buying the house for me. And it was such a pleasure. Now I'm, our transaction doesn't end here. It just begins. We have client appreciation parties that we do. We have all the stuff. And then I introduce the card to them. I say, here's my Starbucks card. You're going to get an email in just a few minutes that's going to say, please give me your 5-star reviews. And every email that, or every review you give me, you get, $5 added to the Starbucks card. So please don't lose the Starbucks card. So I don't have them, Allie, send them. I want that card to come to me. I add to it, but your admins are supposed to be sending out a piece of paper saying, thank you so much for the sale. And I would go read it because I'd rather it come from me than Pam. They'll go, who's Pam? She's our admin, in the front office. So that's why I kind of be a little more proactive and send it myself. And so I can put it on my letterhead and put it on my information. So check with them, but they're supposed to be sending out a little card that has a number attached to it that they can come in and use that, the free notary. I think the biggest one is the free notary. We used to have a non-helium shortage supply. And so I kind of said, hey, if you want some balloons for your birthdays, I've had so many family members and friends that come in to get helium for their little 5-year-old birthday party for their daughter or something. And so now that we have a little less helium, I'm not sure if we have that to offer, but yeah, so that is what we got. So, but thank you. Good question on that. So check with them. So start some kind of a program, and Kelly, we can discuss a little bit after, you can call me if you want. We can discuss a little bit deeper on that too, if you want to start that. But it is something where we have to communicate with our people. Guys, I was going through yesterday, looking for some pictures with client pictures with sold signs. And I just came across a really old file on Drive that I haven't looked at for a while. And I looked at that and I went, well, that's horrible. I start pointing to my wife. They sold their house with a different agent. They sold their house with a different agent, and they sold their house with a different agent. And I'm thinking, what? We were all best friends back then. I mean, what's the problem? And then I looked right in the mirror and went, when's the last time I talked to them? Zero. And so now Shannon, what she's doing back there, so busily doing that. And she did it yesterday. She's putting tasks in there where now you have a task that says it's January or it's February, it's March, and say, what are we going to do? And how are we going to reach out to this particular client? And that's a phone call. We're doing a lot of different things. Oh, we got Jessica come in. So we got phone calls. We got all sorts of things that we're doing. So we do not lose touch. I don't like it when about 4 months later, who's your buyer's name of the gal?
Dana.
So we got Dana. So we got Dana here with Sweet Sarah. All right. So if Dana all of a sudden calls you up 5-6 months later and goes, hey, Sarah, this is Dana. Do you remember who I am? That offends me. Because it's like, I know who you are. It's like, I'll have 26 years ago, I know who you are in my real estate career. I don't totally know who you are, but if I'm not talking to them all the time, then that's an issue. So make sure when again, part of my plan is that you get on all social media platforms, you go hunt them down, you find them, you friend them, because they're friends with you right now. They want to be friends with you. If 5 years down the road, I go and send them a Facebook friend request, they probably say yes, but it's less likely that they may. So now they're seeing everything that I'm doing. You can communicate with them. And again, guys, this week, Shannon's going to be working on this, is that we're going to be putting together that Facebook list that we're doing in the Facebook. So you have your Facebook list, and then you're only having to look at your past clients' posts and not go through your 1,000 friends and seeing all this stuff. Oh yeah, look at that. Sarah's doing yoga again. Oh, look at this. It's like this. So I don't, it's fun to see all this fun stuff, but then we don't have enough time. So if you just when I have like 500 past clients that I want to go watch and see, I can't go through everybody else's stuff too, of all the agents that I have on my Facebook posts, watching their new listing they did. So you can put a list together to create just your clientele. And now I can just go and watch that list, and I can see and don't miss the birthdays and anniversaries. So if I see a birthday or an anniversary or something, I go right into my CRM and say, it was their birthday yesterday. add that into my CRM. It was their anniversary. It's this. And so I put that in and then I help celebrate that. So next year they're getting an instant video that I put it in. It just goes in and I forget about it until I get an email from them going, that was so sweet. Thanks for remember our anniversary. And so again, guys, it's automated. You just got to get the systems to do so and put that in. Questions on any of that?
This
All
is
right.
gold.
Oh, it's so gold.
Yes, this
I'm
is
like,
amazing.
Shannon goes, just calm down, just calm down. She goes, you can't come home and do all this at the same time. You just calm down, one thing at a time. But I love this, a couple of quotes that Jared James said, and I'll move our little people so you can see all that. It says, always working on the business you are in and the one you want to become. So those new agents, I have, and even me being, so many years into business, there's still things I want to become. There's still things that I want to do. But you can't forget that you're still in the business that you are. So wherever you're at, whatever business that you're doing, you work that business and you continue to grow. And you need to set some time, whether it's weekly, monthly, whatever it is, to work on some aspect of your business, to create your listing presentation, to create whatever it might be. I don't know these words. I don't have time to read them. I went to 3 listing presentations yesterday. Woo, got all 3. So I'm pretty excited about that. And so the daughter came there and it was the sweetest thing. And because she was there with her dad and her mom, and said, this is the first time that he feels confident because they've had it listed for a long time. He says he's first time he's felt confident that his house will actually sell. And she gave me all these nice things that she said. And you listened to what we had to say. And it was a list fest. I mean, I sat there and was like, it was like an hour and a half of just listening is really what it was. But it meant to her, it meant a lot to them. But I love that. So working in your business. And I love this, going back with what we were just talking about, you can't steal someone who is being taken care of. Ponder that for a minute. It's that person was firing their agent who just, I don't know. It was more of a seller price. And I backed up that agent, a friend of mine. I just said, and they even said it too. It's like, we were so excited about just how the market, I sold the house across the street in the perfect market at like $100,000 more. And they saw that. And all of a sudden they went, ooh, and they even said that yesterday, we could get more money. And they said, we should have went with you. But anyway, long story short, we're all back together. But they're being taken care of. And so you need to take care of, and I love this one. Get more listings. I want you guys to write this down because you need to memorize this. This is such the best line. I didn't have to use this yesterday, but I had it in my head just in case I had to, but all of them said, yep, we're going to go with you. We're going with you. So I didn't have to use it. But when you go there and you meet these individuals, they're probably meeting 2 or 3 other agents at the same time. And you have to have this in your head so quick that you can just repeat it of what, what are 2 or 3 things that need to be a 10 for you to choose to work with me today before I leave? And so what that just did is that just thought, oh, you just are going to ask them, what are the 2 or 3 things that are most important to them? And now you know what you have to do to be able to earn their business. And I've shared this with you before on a listing presentation that I went with, that I know there's a strong agent coming in right behind me. And guys, a lot of these people, they like all the agents. If you're the last one in, the first one in, the middle in, they like all of them. They're all really good. We have to make a decision. Who are we going to use? We love you. We love her. We love him. We love her. And so how do you decide that? And so I used not quite the same words, but I just said, what is it going to take before I leave today? He goes, well, we really like you, but we have an appointment tomorrow. And I said, well, do you like the price I gave you? Yeah. Well, do you like my marketing approach? Yeah. Do you feel like we're compatible together? Yeah. I said, well, maybe we just put together and sign this right now. And I'd be happy to call that agent and tell her that you've already made a different choice. And he laughed. But he said, I'll give her a call. So, but if I would have left that appointment right there, Shannon would be probably $10,000 poorer today. And then she gets to book whatever she wants or go to Amazon again. So what it is, it's important that you got to know what the situation that you're in when you go to these listing presentations. So please use that, memorize that. There's about 1,000 people there. And he actually said that, and he goes, how many people, he's been preaching this one for a while, and goes, how many people actually use that? And only 2 or 3 people raised their hand. And so it was kind of sad. So these are scripts that you want to use, but just let them know, because then they might come back and say something that maybe you didn't bring up. And so, oh yeah, I have that program. This is what we do right here, blah, 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 blah. And so get it signed. You know, I took two listing agreements with me yesterday because three of these customers were on the elderly side. One of them actually, they just told me they have no internet. I knew that before I went. So what I did there, by the way, I took my videos that I normally send them to introduce myself. I text them. I say, do you mind if I text the video? So I went on the YouTube. It was on YouTube. I just copied the link and I texted it to them. And they were able to watch it on their phone. But I don't know how I'm going to exist or how we're going to do that. I mean, yesterday I've already been to this other house 3 times and they don't do any DocuSign or anything. So it's a little tough. You just got to just hold their hand and go there with all your transfer disclosure statements. And then one missed an initial and I got to go back over. So it's only 12.5 minutes away. So it's not too bad. Yeah, but it is old school. So you want to do that, but it actually kind of helps you in a sense of understanding the emotions of what they're going through when you throw them 14 pages of an SPQ and TDS and just go, oh, this is horrible. So, you know, and so it's nice to be in front of them. All right, guys, we're going to just go down kind of heavy and fast right here on some things. I want to share, this was kind of a gentleman that came that shared kind of some statistics of what's happening with the market right now. And I'm sure Shannon will probably add something if I forgot. But it is so amazing because you're thinking, okay, where are we going with the foreclosures? What are we doing with the percentage? What's going to go on with the market? Where are we at interest rate wise? And so, you know, his questions were, how high can the prices go? What about those who can't pay their mortgages? What are the biggest challenges and the opportunities for us? You know, prices have been going crazy. I would have told people in 2020 when they sold houses or bought a house, I think I'd probably buy it now. Maybe we're at the high of the market. And those, you know, some of the people that actually sold their home, they probably could have held on to it, made 50 grand more. And so we're going to share that a little bit here. So I'm going to share some quotes that were given by individual people. My sense is that the Case-Shiller National Annual Growth Rate, guys, we were 19.7 is what the percentage of appreciation in homes were in the last year. That's totally insane. These are just different companies that kind of gave their own appreciation right there. But you can see for the 4 regions, they had all these different regions of where kind of things were at. I'm going to move this over so I can see that. So we've got you know, New England, Western North Carolina, Central, Mountain. So 25%. I mean, these are huge percentages. And so basically it came back and said that everybody's got about $50,000 more in their you know, net worth. So closings are set to decline roughly 10% year over year in the second half of 2021, and home prices appreciation is on the cusp of flipping to a decelerating trend. Do you guys kind of feel that? Do you feel that maybe there's not quite as many homes that are actually out? There's not quite as many buyers out there. So they're right on target here. And we're going to go over some inventory because inventory is still a little bit low. So this is the kind of the crazy part. And I know that in California, guys, when we're, you know, half our state, you know, burns down during fire season. It was quite interesting. We weren't really sure when we kept introducing ourselves to class that we were from California, what people thought of us. But I was in the elevator. It was fun elevator talk. I'd say, yeah, we're from California, you know, where the state's burning and all sorts of things. So, you know, but they were, you know, it was nice. We didn't have to really wear any masks or anybody. Nobody had any masks. We walked into a hotel with masks on and they all kind of, people started looking at us weird. So so it was interesting, but you can see though, guys, our inventory of new homes to building, we are so short on inventory and things of new houses that we just don't have that. And unfortunately, with these poor people losing their houses during all these fires, or you lose 1,000 or 2,000 homes a year, that's just kind of crazy. But here's where they're kind of feeling that 2021 kind of was, you know, 11.7, and it kind of, they're thinking that they're going to have some appreciation still have some appreciation. So his question is when's the best time to buy? And the joke at the conference was about, you know, 5 years ago was the best time to buy. And the next answer is today. So, you know, you're still going to get this appreciation. I always tell people that, guys, if you have a good job and you're going to be staying there for 7 or 8 years, and if there is like a dip and it goes back down and back up, and you got a good job, paying job, you'll be able to make it through. And your appreciation, we're way ahead of a lot of the prices that happened way back in the crash. So, you know, but having a nice appreciation in through this direction is still the normal, you know, appreciation of what's kind of happening. So we want to just start letting people in arm with this information and let them kind of know where we're going here. But because here it is right here is that expected home value change, you know, all the way through 2025, if you add all that up, it's still 31%. So if I still live in my house for 5 or 6 years, I'm still getting 31% equity. I mean, you can't beat that. So, you know, that's pretty cool. What about those who can't pay their mortgages? And so we want to, like, this is some very interesting data, because I get, you guys are probably getting phone calls and people saying, you know, are you getting massive amount of people that I'm going to wait because I hear there's a flood of foreclosures coming. You hear that? Anybody else hear that? There's a flood of foreclosures coming. You know, it's like, I'm going to wait. Well, let's look at this right here and see what it is. So foreclosures in the last year, they're up 49%. And so here we are that, you know, you had them in August 2020. So they're up a little bit on the foreclosure, but check out this data, what's happening here. So August 2019, there's 28,000, you know, but check this out. Original forbearance percentage was nowhere near the projections and has cut in more than half since then. So here was the original protection of people going, hey, I want to get protection here. Help me out. I'm going to stop making my payment. There's like this. That's huge. If you have 30% of the country and 30% of mortgages, you're like, wow, this is trouble. But then it actually went in May. It was actually, you know, hit about 8.4, and today it's 2.62. So there's another slide right here that what's happening is that 40% of the people that were able to pay them off, and then the other 41 worked out some type of repayment plan, and there's still 17% that are still in some trouble. And so that's kind of where they're at. But when you look at this system, it's like 1.5 repayment plans and short sales and deed of lieu. So we just don't have it. Look at this guy.
Of the 2 point something%.
Yes.
3.45, whatever that was. Okay.
Yes. And like, look at this right here. Oh, there's one more coming up. Active forbearance plans that have a less. Oh, but then here, there's only about 130,000 of the active forbearance plans that have less than 10% of equity. So everybody else who might go, you know what, still don't have my job, or we've been so used to not paying my payment, maybe we'll just go jump into a rental. But go look at that, guys. The renter market is like crazy. So there's only less than 10%, you know, people actually have, you know, less than 10% of the equity that they have in their home. So everybody else has tons of equity. They have $50,000 more of equity in the last year. So they're obviously, got something else coming. They're obviously going to sell their home. They're not going to let it go into foreclosure. And that's what I keep telling our buyers. It's like, guys, if I have $100,000 of equity in my house and I haven't been making my payment for the last 6-7 months, am I really going to be that dumb just to kind of walk away from it and say, here you go, bank, you can take my money for me? No, it's not even going to happen. So keep that in mind there. There's another beautiful slide coming up. Between 2006, and keep this in mind here, 2006 and 2014, there was 9.3 million households that went through foreclosure and gave up their homes to the lender or sold it as a distress sale. It's not even going to happen, because watch this right here. I don't know who this Ivy person is from, founder of Zimmerman Associates, but he said the likelihood of us having a foreclosure crisis again is about 0%. So it's not going to be a crisis. You're going to have a few homes that are going to pop up, and maybe we should have JD Miller get on here and you'll go through all his what he's seen as the spike, if there's any type of foreclosures. But I don't see a bunch of JD's, a bunch of new listings. Do you see any? Heads, nose, yes. I haven't seen JD have a ton more listings. If all of a sudden JD's got 50 or 60 foreclosure listings, then we go, okay, well, maybe we got something coming in our county. But it was interesting to kind of see what that was. So what's the biggest challenge? And you can look at this inventory. So here it was 2017 to 2000, and here's 2020. So this line, so here's 2020. We had almost, this is what it just had spiked a little bit of inventory, then kind of crashed, down here during the holidays. And here's kind of your 18. You can see we had tons of inventory that was kind of up in this direction. But check out this right here on, it's totally check it. But look at the green line now. Here was 2021. So our inventory was lower year to year. It kind of overlapped and it had better inventory in the April months, but now look what's kind of transpiring to it. Kind of went a little bit over the 20, but it's dipped below. It's dipped below right here of the last quarter of what was going on with the inventory of last year. So I thought that was interesting. So I think it says with the new listings in September dipping below last year for the first time in 5 months, next month's data will yield important clues about whether this setback is going to be temporary or a new trend. So it'd be interesting to kind of transpire there. But yeah, here's the $51,000, everybody. So everybody who owns a home, you've got that. And check this out right here. We need to tap into $9.8 trillion worth of equity that people have in their homes. How do we do that? We could have a party. So this is, there's a lot of people out there that say, look, I'm going to take some money out. If I had a bunch of extra money in my home, and, and a lot of people they could go buy a second home or a third home or buy some kind of a, investment property, because right now with the interest rates where they're at, there's probably not going to be another time in our lifetimes that we're going to have 2.5, 2.8, 3% interest rates for a long time, because they're going to start going up. But this is like crazy amount of market money that's available that people might have in their homes. And this was interesting too. Here's an average age. I don't know if you guys can see this, but an average age in years of outstanding residential mortgages. So 4.8 in California. So that's a lot of newbies, or it could be possibly a lot of new refis as well. We don't have really anything over 5.7 right here. Oh, it's New York. Yeah, maybe they don't refinance too much in New York or don't move too much because you can't afford to move in New York, but it's 6.5 looks like the highest. So that was kind of some interesting statistics there. And then here's your average, 30-year rate mortgage, on that. And so you're at 3, so you can see it kind of went down and kind of dipping. So kind of fun, some fun statistics, kind of some fun things. Foreclosures start rates at homeowners who were 120 or more days past due and have been relatively similar in regards to equity stakes from 2010 on. So while we may see some variations in foreclosure activity based on the equity levels of borrowers who are unable to return making payments post forbearance, those with strong equity won't necessarily be immune to foreclosure referral. So that's it. So let's stop sharing so we can talk a little bit about that. All right. So it was interesting to kind of see and to be able to learn of some statistics. And so anytime you guys go to a class or go to listen to something or a meeting or a webinar or some kind of fun thing that you can listen to, that it's important to just take that information, because you never know when you're going to step into a listing presentation or with a buyer the next day. And now you have some ammunition and say, oh yeah, this is, not even close to being what we're going to be seeing. And no, there's not going to be a bunch of foreclosures that are going to be coming at all. So, so that's kind of fun kind of thing. So open up for any questions, any thoughts, or anything that you guys have to ask me.
Can you explain what home price performance is?
Home price performance. I have no idea. Yeah. Yeah, we got Jen.
Where's it at?
Where was it at?
It
It was
the
in there.
slide that you discussed right before the value, right before the increase in home value. Estimated home price performance in 2021 was 11.75%, and then each year it went down
I'm going back. I'm
Slightly.
looking. Tell me when to stop. I'm not sharing with them, so I can't really see
5
that.
more back probably.
5 more back. You went that far.
Well, I listen
You're good.
and I take notes. One more. There you go.
This one right
What's
here.
that?
Estimated home price performance. And this is a pulse metric price performance. 7.2, because it actually looks like that these are gonna, this is what it is, that this was the percentage of increase that they're thinking, the price performance of what percentage of increase that we're gonna actually be having. So they think in 2022, it's gonna go up about appreciation about 5.82, 3.94, 3.56, and 3.55. I don't know how they can even do that. So price performance is probably another word of appreciation.
Okay.
Is kind of what that is. But good question. Wow. Test the teacher. That was good. Yes. That's why I'm not a teacher.
Yes, you
And they
are.
say, what's 1 + 1? That's about all I got in math. You're a math wizard. So, all right, Jessica, I'm going to go ahead and stop.